ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भगवद्वेषिणीम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुवन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः। ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुः सुरासुरगणाः। देवाय तस्मै नमः। Shloka number 28. I will read, you can repeat. अथ प्रथमोऽध्यायः। अर्जुन उवाच दृष्ट्वेमं स्वजनं कृष्ण युयुत्सुं समुपस्थितम् सीदन्ति मम गात्राणि मुखं च परिशुष्यति वेपथुश्च शरीरे मे रोमहर्षश्च जायते गाण्डीवं स्रंसते हस्तात् त्वच्चैव परिदह्यते न च शक्नोम्यवस्थातुम् भ्रमतीव च मे मनः निमित्तानि च पश्यामि विपरीतानि केशव न च श्रेयोनुपश्यामि हत्वा स्वजनमाहवे न काङ्क्षे विजयं कृष्ण न च राज्यं सुखानि च किन्नो राज्येन गोविन्द किं भोगैर्जीवितेन वा येषामर्थे काङ्क्षितं नः राज्यं भोगाः सुखानि च त इमेव स्थिता युद्धे प्राणान् त्यक्त्वा धनानि च। As we have seen before, Bhagavad Gita is the teaching given by the Lord Krishna to Arjuna, his friend who turns to be a disciple. But before the actual teaching is given, in the 11th shloka of the second chapter, there is some background story which will give us the idea in which situation Arjuna asked for the teaching. Because there is one convention followed by the teachers of Vedanta and that is aprishtaha na bruyat. Without being asked, one should not teach Vedanta. In fact, why we should not give advice for anything? Unsolicited advice has got no value. In fact, one sign of growing older is this: you want to give more and more advice which people don't want to take. That is one sign of growing older. So, if you want to remain young, then give less advice. Because otherwise there is a tendency that when we grow older, we want to give more advice. Give less advice. Give advice when asked. Generally, I tell this, the principle of economics, that if supply is more, price goes down. So if you want the value of your words, use less. Otherwise, very useless, And that's why Bhagavan Sri Krishna gave this teaching only when Arjuna requested specifically. Not that kuch sunao. Means you tell me something, and he taught Vedanta. Not like that. Specifically he asked for the solution of problem of samsara. Then only he gave the teaching of Atmajnanam. So all those topics are to be brought out by the background story, and that is what we are seeing. And in this background story, one point which is highlighted is the nature of samsara, bondage. What is bondage? Different people have got different ideas of bondage. People say, Swamiji, I have bondage of duties, I have to do all this. I have family duties and this social duties and all this. So different people have different idea of bondage. Here bondage is presented in the form of raga, shoka and moha. They are the fundamental aspects of bondage. Other things are the derivatives. Raga means the attachment. What is attachment? Emotional dependence upon some object, some person or some situation for happiness, security and peace. That is called attachment. When I look upon my son, daughter, spouse as my source of happiness, means if they are favorable, I am happy. If his or her mood is out, my mood is out. That is called attachment. Being associated with people is not attachment. Even wise people are associated. Pujya Swamiji was associated with hundreds and thousands of people. In fact, more than common people. We may be associated with 100, 200, 300 people. He was associated with thousands of them. But it is still not attachment. So relate to the person. Being in association with the person is not attachment. But depending upon someone for my emotional security, my emotional well-being, that is attachment. And that is why running away from family does not mean you are free from attachment. People think like this. Not necessary. See, some people in South India, the wife did not give coffee, so I will go to Rishikesh. And even coffee is not given to me. So, and he leaves and he thinks, I don't want to have any attachment. He will go there and he will have attachment for so many other things. There also people are there also Bhandara is there. Bhandara means special feast is called Bhandara. So Bhandara ticket hota hai uska. So you get ticket for to be admitted in Bhandara. So you will have attachment for that. Attachment for eating some sweet, attachment for dakshina. So just because you run away from a particular situation, it does not mean you are free from attachment. Running away is not a solution. Yeah, sometimes keeping oneself away from problematic situation for some time may be a temporary relief. That is okay. Like putting a cast. No, plaster. Plaster is not a solution. Plaster is just temporary protection. So attachment, emotional dependence. And Arjuna had emotional dependence on his relatives. So when he saw them and he got a thought, all of them will die. Especially those people with whom he was emotionally connected, very intensely emotionally connected. Intensely connected, and therefore that very thought of separation brought sorrow. There so many thoughts must have happened. It is not that he simply saw and got sad. Any emotional problem is always built up emotional problem. Any emotional problem is the result of some building up. Single thought is not an emotional problem. When you see some situation and thought comes, it's not good. That itself doesn't create sorrow. But you build up on that. It is not good. It is going to create problem forever. I will be so miserable and nobody will help me. All these thoughts are built up. That built up situation becomes emotional problem. Single thought is never a problem. When first thought comes, and if you are able to neutralize it in the next moment, then it doesn't become emotional problem. And first thought is not so much in our hand. It happens. But afterwards, whether to build up this thought, whether to allow this or not, that is in our hand to some extent. And that freedom we can use. We have got thumb space, as they call it. And therefore you can use that. And you don't cooperate with the building up of the thoughts. And when first thought came, this is not good. This is painful. Then second thought, you can say it is going to be very painful. I'll be helpless. I'll be finished. So it is built up. But instead of that, it is painful. How long it is going to remain? Will there be some help available to handle this pain? Will there be some remedies available? Can I look upon some source to help me? If you think in that direction, that first thought doesn't become emotional problem. Our problem is we get along with that thought and we build up single thought into an emotional issue. First thought is not generally in our hand. That first thought also can be handled by proper attitude, so that first thought itself will not come. But in initial stage, that may not be in our hand. So what we do, we don't go along with the thought which is disempowering thought, which is leading to emotional disturbance. So in case of Arjuna, what must have happened is, he saw the relatives, and if they are making movie, they can show Arjuna had a flashback. He is remembering, he was a small child, going to Bhishma Pitama, Tata, and Tata say, Enacha, so what happened? So Pasi, Pasi means hunger. So, I am telling them what is in Tamil. And Tata said, oh, no problem. He gave some sweet and he was sometime he was hurt, and how he helped him, how caressed him, embraced him. All this flashback must have happened. And to that Bhishma Pitamaha I am going to kill. No, I can't do this. What a situation. In what situation I have been put. And thus he got into the problem of sorrow. Why? Why I have to do this? Why me? This is a common expression. What? Why me? People think that as if Bhagavan is having so angry with me that he send all the problems to me only. Swamiji. In this entire room, Swamiji, mosquito will sit on me only. All this is build up. And so Arjuna had some build-up based on the single thought of all are my relatives and they are going to die. That was the first thought. And that led to so many other thoughts, and which landed him in the problem of sorrow. And his sorrow was described in the from the 28th sloka up to the 31st first half, where intensity of sorrow was described. Arjuna said, I can't stand, this Gandivam, this bow is slipping down, my head is reeling. And then the sorrow led to the problem of moha. And he says, I am not seeing anything good coming out of this duty. When duty is painful, we think that duty is not correct, harmful. And Arjuna said that I don't want victory, I don't want Rajyam, kingdom, I don't want comfort. What is the use of kingdom? What is the use of bhoga? What is the use of even life? So he got this, what is called, hatred towards even life. I don't want to live such life. See, love for life is natural. If life is seen as a burden, redundant, then something is deeply wrong. A person feels, I don't want to live, that is indicator of deep emotional problem. If it is momentary once in a while, what is the use of life? It's okay. Next moment you are booking your, the flight. Then it is okay. If life is not there, where is flight? So, but you do that. Then no problem, once in a while. But if it is coming as a serious thing, that there is something deeply wrong. Healthy attitude towards life is, I am ready to live as long as my prarabdha is. In Bhadram Karnebhi, prayer is that Bhadram Karnebhi Shrunuyam Devaha Bhadram Pashe Makshabiri Jatraha Sthirairangehi Tuštuvagum Sastanubihi Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuhu. Devahitam means allotted by the Lord. Yadayuhu, whatever lifespan given by the Lord, let us enjoy it, let us spend it well. Whatever lifespan. So there is no hatred towards life. At the same time, there is no hatred towards death also. Means, I am ready to live for 100 years, I am ready to die tomorrow. Because both are natural. Life is natural and death also is going to be a part of the natural scheme, the scheme of nature. Some people are afraid of life. They are scared of long life. In fact, that is why we stop giving this blessing. May you live for 100 years. Earlier we used to give the Ashirvada. Now people say, no, Swami, don't want. Like some prasada they reject. No, this I can't take. So similarly, this Ashirvada they reject, and therefore we also don't say, this Ayushman, whatever Ayush you have, we leave that. Complete it. Don't become ghost. So, because if life is not lived completely, they say they become ghost. So, may you live completely. And some people are afraid of death. I will die, so what will happen? Both are unhealthy. Healthy approach is this: I am ready to live as many years I am supposed to live, and I am ready to die tomorrow. Because it is governed by the prarabdha. And why should I resist prarabdha? Let me welcome prarabdha. In life, one way of remaining happy is dropping resistance to the facts. My lifespan is a fact. The death is a fact. I don't resist facts. More you develop this attitude that I want to surrender my resistance, I let go of my resistance, I am relaxed. In fact, Pujya Swamiji used to say, surrender to Ishvara means letting go of one's resistance. To let go of one's resistance, that is surrender to Ishvara. Because Ishvara alone is manifested in the form of various situations. And I don't offer any resistance to the facts unfolded by Ishvara. And that is surrender. Surrender is not that we sing that song. Tana mana dhana sab kuch tera hai. Have you heard this? Sab kuch tera hai. Tera tujhko arpan. Kya lage mera. So that song is there. So people think we have to offer tana mana dhana. That also is okay. But more than anything else, you let go of your resistance. That is healthy towards life and death. But Arjuna had a resistance to even life. He is afraid, or he hates life. He is having aversion to life. Kim jivitenava. And in the next shloka he clarifies. That's why he is not interested in comfort, life, kingdom and all. He says, Yesham arthe, for whose sake kankshitam, desired, naha, by us, for whose sake, for Bhishma Pitamaha, for Dhritarashtra, for this Dronacharya, for whose sake kankshitam, desired, naha, by us, what? Rajyam, kingdom. If kingdom is there, we can serve them more. Bhogas, all comforts. Sukhani, all pleasures. All of them we have thought only for their sake. Means we will enjoy only including them in their company. Making them happy, I will be happy. Making them comfortable, I will be comfortable. In fact, that is the approach of noble people. I don't know, here also it must be there, in ashram, the administrator of the ashram, who is especially taking care of dining hall, his rule is that he is supposed to eat at the end. He should not say, okay, my plate first, will apna nikal do. He is not that. He is supposed to eat at the end. And that also if something is left out. That is the approach. So, Arjuna, being a noble person, his nobility is not gone. Even though he is under the spell of this emotional attachment, sorrow, but still nobility doesn't go. See, when noble people, even when they are angry, they will not use that type of abusive language which other type of people will use. Even when they are angry. Other people who are not having good cultural background, even in common transaction, they will use abusive language. Whereas noble people, even when they are angry, they will not use that language. Because basic nobility doesn't go away. Even though when they are angry. Even though when they are angry, that remains. So Arjuna has got basic nobility. So even though he is under the spell of sorrow and now he is under the spell of moha, now sorrow has turned into a problem of moha, delusion, seeing things upside down. Still his nobility is there. And therefore he says, all these things are for my relatives. And these relatives, avasthitaha yuddhe, are assembled in this battle. Pranans tyaktva, having given up prana, means having been ready to give up prana. And dhanani, and all wealth. So, they are assembled here, having been ready to give up their life, give up all the comforts, all forms of wealth. And such people, for whose sake we are doing everything, how can we think of killing them? We are earning all this for our relatives. And in the process, if relatives themselves are killed, what is the use of all these things? In the last class, last sentence, I said this, that operation is successful, but patient died. What is this operation? So similarly, we get all the Rajyam, Bhoga, Sukhani, But for whose sake we will be earning all this, they themselves are killed. And that's not a good bargain. It is something like, a person is in the hospital and the nurse says, you need ventilator. I will give you ventilator, but I will take away your life. Are you ready? Ventilator I will give you. Just now I will put that. But I will take your life. I will put an injection. I will give you ventilator, take away your life. Is it worthwhile? No. Similarly, Arjuna is saying, for whose sake we are ready to earn all this? They themselves are here. And for whose sake we should earn this bhoga sukhani rajyam? So when Arjuna says this, he looks a very noble person. He is a noble person. But he is missing one point here. What is the point? That here there is no choice between the relatives and comforts. If that was the choice, that either I choose my relatives or I choose comforts. Now I love my relatives and therefore I let go of comforts. Many people do that. See, if they go abroad, then they can earn more money, but they will be losing that company of the relatives. Therefore, many people don't go. So it is fine. So choice between the relatives and comforts is there, and he chooses relative, nothing wrong. But he has missed this point. In this situation, there is no choice between the relatives and comforts or relatives and wealth. Here there is a choice between relatives and dharma. Sometimes we do not understand where the choice is. He missed this point. He thought there is a choice between the comforts and relatives. I like relatives more. He would be okay. But here he had a choice between relatives and dharma. And in this situation, he should choose dharma. It is his duty to protect dharma, and therefore his choice should be going for dharma and ready to let go of his personal relatives. That is the maturity of the person. Arjuna wrongly perceived the choice. Many times people have this. It is something like somebody has got the duty in dining hall to serve. And he has got duty in the evening. And he is thinking what? Oh, dinner, somebody said today is a very good dinner. Come, very good dinner. Then this person said, no, I am watching this movie. And I like movie more than eating. So what he says? I am ready to let go of my dinner to watch this program, cricket match. And it is alright. He likes to watch cricket more than this dinner, tasty dinner, is alright. But he forgets the choice is not between the cricket match and dinner. The choice is between cricket match and his duty. His duty is to go and serve. And he says, no, I don't want tasty dinner. Whether you want tasty dinner or not, you are supposed to be there in the dining hall. So, we have to see our choice clearly, properly, without being under the spell of ragadveshas. So, Arjuna missed that point. That here choice is not between the relatives and comforts, choice is there between the relatives and dharma. And in normal situation, Arjuna was following dharma. He is a dharmic person. And he has sacrificed so many small things in his life. Like we also generally follow dharma. But when the stake is very high, the sacrifice involved in following dharma is so much more than usual. Then I will say, Kaliyug mein little bit adjust pannungo. So little bit adjust you do. In Kannada they said adjust madi. So I am changing now. Let adjustment pannungo. Pannungo is correct, no? ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕೊಂచెం adjustment ಪಡ್ಕೋ. I'm changing. So that's what happens. Generally we are following dharma. But when it comes to losing some money, losing some property, or losing my name, then little bit compromise. So similarly, Arjuna generally was following dharma, but when it came to this sacrifice of his relatives, he was not ready. And therefore his mind is under the spell of raga and shoka, and thereby consequence is moha. When my mind is under the spell of raga, attachment, and there is sorrow based on the attachment, then the capacity to think clearly goes away. And right will appear wrong, wrong will appear right. And that's what has happened to Arjuna. He has lost, he has forgotten the very purpose of this battle. He is wrongly thinking that this war is for only comforts and kingdom, etc. It is not. The war is for the purpose of the protection of dharma, which he missed. And now, missing this point, he is giving so many arguments. And that is the sign of moha. And this moha continues even in the next shloka. Acharya pitarah putraha tathaiva cha pitavaha matula shvashurah pautraha shala sambandhinastatha etan nahantumichhami gnatopi madhusudana api trailokya rajyasya hetoh kinnu mahi krute. He is describing these relatives which he had referred to. Te ime avasthitaha yuddhe. All these people for whose sake we would like to have comfort, kingdom, etc., they are present. Who are they? Acharyaha. My teachers, Dronacharya, Krupacharya and some other teachers. Pitaraha, my parents. Parents like people, we have seen 5 types of fathers are there. Pitaraha. Putraha, children. Tathaivacha, and similarly Pitamahaha, grandfathers, people like grandfathers. Matulaha, maternal uncle. Swashuraha, fathers-in-law. Arjuna had so many wives, so fathers-in-law will be there, also many will be there. Pautraha, then grandchildren. I told you Arjuna was 82 or something when he was in the battlefield. Even though generally picture we see Arjuna with big mustache, black and all this, black hair must be there. He must be using good oil. So from Kerala, so because Kerala people have always black hair generally. So that is possible. But generally we see young, but he was 80 plus. So Pautra, he was a grandfather. Alright, so and he is telling of us his grandfather like people. So you can imagine. So 125, Bhishma Pitama was 120, 125 or something. Quite old. Pautraha and Shalaha. Shalaha, Hindi mein bolte Sala. So the brothers-in-law, the wife's brothers, they are called Shalaha. Tatha, similarly, Sambandhinaha, relatives. Relatives are called Sambandhinaha. Why? Samyak Badnati iti Sambandhi. In South India, Sambandhi means that the daughters-in-law, his parents are called Sambandhis, or father, the son-in-law's parents. But Sambandhi in Sanskrit has got general meaning relatives. And relatives are called Sambandhi because Samyak Badnati. Those who bind us very well. Pura 2-3 round lete hai. So 2-3 rounds they do. Or up tying ropes. That is called Sambandhina. So they tie us through their what is called attachment to us and our attachment to them. See, sometimes people have value that I should be loved by so many people. See, I am loved by only one. Even that also sometimes doubt. So, so I want to be loved. How nice if so many people are attached to me. When I go, people cry and all this. Some people like it. See, when I go, so many people are crying. So, we have value, but we do not know that itself becomes the cause for bondage. More people are attached to you, then they can become your responsibility if you are not having maturity. If you are mature, then any number of people are attached to you, no problem. Puja Swamiji told one person very nicely. He said, you be like Krishna. Even though people are attached to you, you are not attached to anyone. That is the greatness of Krishna. People were attached to Krishna. Krishna was not attached to anyone. Therefore, gopis have been telling, hey Krishna, you are heartless and you don't love us. We love you so much and all this. So, idea is that having this value that more and more people will be attached to me also is a sign of samsara. We need not have craze for people being attached to us. If people love us, it's a good thing, we thank Bhagavan, but we do not judge ourselves based on that. Don't rate yourself. So now Swamiji, 100 people are having love for me. Now 120, so I am up. And something happened, your market crashed. Only 30 people, Swamiji. So as some market crash happens, no, in between. So market crash will happen if you have judgment about yourself based on how many people love you. Don't judge yourself based on any such external factors. People love me because they find something good or their interest is served. People love you because their interest is served. When interest is not served, if you are very healthy and serving them, therefore they love you. And if you fall sick and not able to serve, you see how many people are there. It is different. And therefore, no judgment based on that. Otherwise, these relatives become what? Sambandhi. Sambandhi means those who are binding. And Arjuna says, Tatha, similarly, all relatives are present. And he says, Etan. These relatives, Hantum na ichhami. I do not desire to kill them. Gnataha api. Even if they are ready to kill me. Gnataha means they are jigam santam. They are ready to kill me. Then also, I will not desire to kill them. Because somebody might say, Arjuna, if you don't want to kill them, they will kill you. They don't have such feelings as you have. So you suppose you drop your bow and all your weapons and sit, or you are going, they will kill you. So Arjuna says, I don't care. Even if they are ready to kill me, I will not kill them. Gnataha api he Madhusudana. O destroyer of Madhu, the demon. His name was Madhu. By using this word Madhusudana, Arjuna is suggesting, Bhagavan, your job was easy because you had to kill demons, whereas I have to kill my relatives. So don't give me advice. So your job was different. Bhagavan says, see Arjuna, you have done this, Madhusudana I am. So Arjuna said, your situation was different, my situation is different. So you are Madhusudana, whereas I have to become what? I have to become Pitrusudana. I have to become Matula Sudana, Putra Sudana, which is difficult. And he repeats that argument with Kaimutika Nyaya. What to speak of? Api Trailokya Rajyasya Hetoho. Even for the purpose of Hetoho, Trailokya Rajya, the kingdom of three lokas. Three lokas means Prithvi, Swarga and Antariksham. The earth, heaven and intermediary space. That is for three loka. So even for the sake of three lokas, means even if I am going to get the kingdom of all the three lokas, if I win this war, then also na hantum ichchami. I do not want to kill them. Kimnu mahi krite. Then what to speak of for the sake of the earth? One loka. Even for 3 lokas, I am not ready to kill them. Then what to speak of only some part of the earth? I will not do it. Like somebody says, even if you give me 5 crores, I am not going to do what you are asking. Then you are bringing 1 lakh rupees. By 5 crores I am not going to do, then do you think I will do it for 1 lakh? So Arjuna is using that expression. Even if I get the kingdom of 3 lokas, I am not going to kill them. Then where is the question of my killing them for some part of the earth, only 1 loka? I am not going to do. Here also Arjuna is missing that this kingdom was not for Mahi. Kingdom was not for, the war was not for this Mahi, for the earth. The war was for the protection of Dharma. That point he missed. And he thinks that, see how in a noble way he is thinking. How noble is his thinking? He should be given Nobel Prize for Peace because he is thinking of no war. So what he is thinking is good in a particular context. But out of context, some arguments become invalid. As I told that a soldier on the border, if he talks about ahimsa, when this other side they have started firing, it is not proper. No, let them kill. I don't mind living my life, but if I start, then hundreds of them will be killed. And that's not correct. Then his buddhi is clouded. No value is absolute. Ahimsa is a great value, but ahimsa is not an absolute value. Sometimes hinsa is dharma. Why? Because for the sake of larger part, the larger body, small part is to be sacrificed. We do it, doctors do it. If one part is highly infected and if it is amputated, then the whole body will be saved. So the doctors do that. It is not adharma. For surgery, they have to put a cut. He is bleeding. He is not doing adharma. And suppose one person in the group is creating so much problem, so the whole class is disturbed every day, then that one person needs to be asked. He can be given a chance. Once, twice, 3 times given a chance. But he is not ready to. He said, I will be like this only. In fact, I will improve little bit. Improve means I will improve in my action. Then that person needs to be removed. Otherwise, it will disturb the whole group. So, individually, we may not have any problem with the person. We can tell, okay, you come with me, I will teach you individually when I have time. But in the group, it will not be possible. It will not be comfortable for everybody. So, for the sake of totality, this individual interest needs to be compromised, which involves some himsa. But that himsa is not against dharma because it is for the protection of dharma. Arjuna missed this point. Otherwise, he is great person. His thinking is very good from one angle, but it is out of context. Any value we talk in a particular context. Contextless value will not be serving the purpose. And that's what Arjuna is missing. And he said, what is the use of this all kingdom, etc. By killing relatives, what is the use of kingdom? That is not the choice he had, and he is wrongly perceiving the choice, and therefore he has got this expression of moha, the expression of delusion. What he is saying is an expression of delusion. Now, in the next shloka, from the next shloka, he comes to the punya papa consideration. So far he talked about from drashta phala angle, from the angle of visible result. Now he is talking from punya papa angle, and he says, by killing these people, I will get papam only. And I should not do something which will give me papam. That's what he says in the next sloka. Nihatya dharta rashtrannah ka priti syad janardana papamevashrayedasman atvaitana tatayinah. He says, Nihatya dhartra rashtran. Having killed, on killing Dharta Rashtran, the children of Dhritarashtra, means Kauravas, Duryodhana and others. Naha, for us, ka pritihi. What pleasure, syad, there would be. By killing our relatives, the children of Dhritarashtra, what pleasure would be there? Means, no pleasure would be there. Aksheparthe ka. Kim Shabda. So what pleasure we will have by killing our own relatives? Means ishta phalam nasti. Desired result will not come by this war. Not only that, desired result will not come, undesirable result will come. Papam eva ashraye tasman. Papam eva, generally they translate papam as sin. It is okay. But Pujya Swamiji used to say that word papam, let it remain as papam. You explain what is papam and use the word papam. Because if you translate it as a sin, along with the word sin, the connotation of sin comes. Then original sin they have. And they have got so many other concepts. And therefore we explain what is papam. What is papam? Papam is the result of prohibited action, wrong action. Invisible result of wrong action is called papam. And Arjuna thinks, which is not a right thinking, but he thinks that by killing these children of Dhritarashtra, papam alone will come. And for a dharmic person, not having papam, avoidance of papam is a matter of great value. He would like to avoid papam. Even though some benefit is there, but still he will not do it because that thing involves papam. So Arjuna says, by killing these people, papam alone will come to us. Hatva, by killing, papam eva ashret. And who are these people? Atatayinaha. Atatayina means wrongdoers. In fact, nowadays the terrorist in English is translated by Atatayi sometimes. Atankavadi, Atatayi. Atatayi is a technical word. The people who are doing particular type of offenses, wrong actions, they are called Atatayi. And in Shastra there is a shloka for that. Who is defined as Atatayi? He says, Agnidaha, one who sets fire on somebody's house. Agnidaha. Garadaha, one who is giving poison to some people. Garadaha. And Shastrapani, having the weapons and using them on the people who are weaponless, defenseless. Shastrapani. Having the weapons, using them on the defenseless people. I have got gun and I go and shoot. That's what happens in recently some Thailand or somewhere it happened. Malaysia or Thailand. Thailand. This is army person, retired army person. Just pat. There's some heat lagate na. You know heat? That cockroach. So he did like this. In America, every now and then we hear that somebody goes crazy and he goes to the school or somewhere. That is called Atatayi. Shastrapani. And this uses the weapons on the people who don't have defense. And Dhanapaha, one who takes away somebody's wealth. Kshetra Darapaharta, one who has taken away somebody's land. Kshetra. Dara, wife. Apartha means one who takes away. So these 5 people, Agnidaha, setting fire, Garada, Shastrapani, Dhanapaha, Kshetradarapaharta. These 5 offenses who have done, they are called Atatai. Any one of these 5. And Duryodhana has done all 5. So he is a Maha Atatai. Some people say, in all subjects fail. If one subject fail, also his person is failed. This is a fully failed. We have got fully pass. We used to say fully pass. And similarly, this person says, I am fully failed. See, Duryodhana has done all 5. He has violated dharma in all. He has committed adharma in all 5 manners. And in Smriti Grantha it is said, Atatayinam ayantam hanya deva vicharata. If somebody has done any one of these 5, then it is the duty of Kshatriya to finish this person. Of course, after proper inquiry. Not that you thought this person has done and finished. After proper inquiry, capital punishment is there. And Arjuna being a Kshatriya, it was his duty to give proper punishment to this Atatai. So killing the Atatai was his duty, which will give him punyam. But now under the spell of moha, what is he thinking? Papameva ashrayet. This is the height of moha. Killing Atatai is his duty, and now he is telling, by this duty I will get papam. And thus his understanding of dharma is so much clouded because of his raga. As we have seen before, having emotions is not a problem. But my emotions should be guided by my buddhi. If I have emotions and they are guided by my buddhi, buddhi is watching that and allowing it, no problem. But if buddhi is clouded, the overpowered so much that buddhi joins justifying wrong emotions, disempowering emotions, then it is moha. And sometimes that what happens, that we justify our weakness by our intelligence. So intelligence should stop the disempowering improper emotions. Instead of that, buddhi joins and buddhi starts justifying this disempowering emotions, weakening emotions, the expressions of weakness. Such emotions is justifying. Like a person likes smoking, and instead I am smoking so that industrial growth takes place. Because smoking tobacco industries, billions of dollars or billions of rupees are there involved in this tobacco industry. WTC, no? What is that company? That big company? Huh? IT, huh? ITC. Indian Tobacco. Such a huge company. Lot of money involved. So this person say, if I stop smoking and seeing me some other people will stop smoking, then industry will go. Many people become unemployed. That is what buddhi giving justification. He doesn't say that I have weakness, I am not able to give up. That is the same thing to tell. Acknowledging the weakness is the first step to grow out of weakness. First you acknowledge, yes, this problem is there. Some people have problem of denial. They will not accept the problem. So Arjuna has this issue of moha, and because his buddhi is clouded by emotions. And he is telling that by killing them, atatayinaha, this papameva ashrayet. And therefore his conclusion is what? He says in the next shloka. Tasman narha vayam hantum dhartarashtran swabandhavan swajanam hi katham hatva sukinasyama madhava. So before we go to 37, one word Janardana is used for Krishna. Janan asuran ardayati iti Janardana. One who is destroying wrong people is for Janardana. So Arjuna again is telling, Bhagavan, you have to destroy wrong people, whereas I have to kill my own people and good people. And therefore, some of them are good, and even though they are Atatai, but my people. See, my sense of this Mamakara, minus is so strong that all other defects, all other evils are lost sight of. My son has done, okay. If somebody else says, how can he do like this? It's a double standard we have. Because of moha we think like this. So Arjuna is telling Janardana, your problem was easy, my problem is difficult because I have to kill my own people. Tasmat, therefore. Therefore means what? Phala sambhavat, anartha sambhavatcha. Good outcome is not there in this war, and wrong, harmful, adverse outcome is definitely going to be there or possible. Therefore, na vayam arhaha hantum. Vayam, we, na arhaha, should not. In simple words, we should not. Hantum, kill. Dhartarashtan, the children of Dhritarashtra. Who are they? Swabandhavan, my relatives. My relatives, therefore we should not kill them. Because Swajanam Hatva, having killed one's relative, Katham, how? Sukhinaha Syama, how can we be happy? By killing our relatives, how can we be happy? Hey Madhava, hey Krishna. Ma means Lakshmi, Dhava means Pati. You are Lakshmi Pati, but your being Lakshmi Pati is meant for your devotees, your own people. Similarly, all our things should be meant for our relatives, and here relatives are going to be killed, and therefore how can we be happy? By killing them. We cannot be happy. So Arjuna is giving all arguments under the spell of moha. Some of the ideas are very noble, but they are used, those ideas are used or quoted in the wrong context. Context is wrong. Context is improper. Otherwise his nobility we admire. In fact, that is why he could become the disciple of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. He was definitely a good person. That is why Bhagavan chose him. So he is a good person, but sometimes good person also can be a confused person. Goodness and confusion and being confused is not opposite. Good people also can get confused. And confused people also may be good. And therefore, Arjuna is having this goodness, but at the same time confusion. And under the confusion, he is giving arguments after arguments. And sometimes what happens? When you start giving arguments, you get so much trapped in that, you do not know how to come out of that. Some speakers have got this problem. When they start one topic, they go to other topic. They don't know when to complete. They are supposed to speak for 5 minutes and they don't know when to. They are looking for some good punching line. Punch line, not punching line. And therefore punchline doesn't come. And therefore they keep on talking. So similarly, Arjuna is giving arguments after arguments. So he is confused. And then keeps on talking. And Bhagavan keeps quiet. If you want to even advise someone, first you have to listen the person completely. If that person has so many things to tell and you advise, it will not work. Because if vessel is full and if you put it will come out. So let it be empty. So Bhagavan allowed Arjuna to get emptied. That's what Bhagavan is doing. He is just smiling, and he is listening to Arjuna. More details we see in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.